Because you said
collective.
yeah.
Odd Future.
Yes.
It was Odd Future.
I know my shit.
I totally forgot to put on the clock.
Woo!
Hey.
We're live again.
Live. We're live.
Are we actually
So
live?
this
Yes.
time, Connor is going to be explaining things and stuff and all things hip
I'm
hop.
going to explain what I learned about 1993's hip hop scene.
Should you be on this side explaining?
I mean, yeah.
You
Since
probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we're going to put 4 minutes on
Woo.
the
This
clock.
mic is really moist.
4 minutes.
I
Moist
just am a
mics.
passionate speaker.
That's
Can't
That's
handle
how
my
you guys
heat.
do here at your
Connor.
color circuit.
Moist mics.
Moist
Yeah.
mics.
I like to keep it.
A Mixmaster Moist Mic.
All right. So,
And we're
19
gonna
the
start.
year.
Are we
Yes, we're starting. Go
Okay.
for it.
93. Yeah.
That was a year before I was born.
9,
That was a year before you were born.
Yes.
All right, I am 2 at this point. Now, the hip hop scene really blows up in 1993.
Tell me why.
Okay, first off, you have Wu-Tang Clan.
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Ain't nothing to fuck with. If you leave here today, I want you to know one thing about Wu-Tang Clan. Nothing to fuck with.
Nothing to fuck with.
You also then have ICP, unfortunately, come
They
out
are-
this year.
Oh, that's the same as ICP.
I know, it's crazy. Nothing to fuck with. I don't want to go to their show. Then you also have Snoop Dogg.
You don't like the great Malenko. Ha 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 ha.
Woo,
Great
woo,
Malenko.
nope, nope. Oh, that's horrible. That's bad. I can't even pretend. You have Snoop Dogg. He releases his first album this year. You also have a hip hop group named Onyx. Honestly,
lot of
not
stuff.
familiar with them.
The Pokemon.
Not yes, exactly. It evolves into Steelix.
Which is also unfamiliar.
And another hip hop group that came out in 1993.
Steelix.
I can't confirm that.
Okay.
You also have LL Cool J. So cool, you got to give him 2 L's.
I thought he was an actor.
He released he is also a soldier for the military according to NCIS Los Angeles. Can't confirm. Can't confirm.
Confirmed.
So LL Cool J, he releases an album.
Okay.
You also have De La Soul and Dave Bautista. They were around during this time. So De La Soul, they released an album this year. So you have all of these great albums being released throughout the year of 1993. All of these acts.
Okay.
Super inspirational. They've created what hip hop is supposed to sound like today. You also have a Tribe Called Quest, although for board's room's sake, we abbreviate to ATC. You can make that whatever you want, but it's a
Okay.
Tribe Called Quest because that's a Q. I got that. Solved that problem right away.
I think the one thing I'm going to learn is bad grammar issues so far.
Bad grammar, only the best on Color Circuit. So a Tribe Called Quest, they released an album. Everybody loves it. 1:40 is a long time.
Oh, you got how close are we to being?
Yeah.
Right there.
2:20
Enough with that for
right
this.
now.
Well, I mean, like, this is the lesson. So let me tell you something about
Okay.
1993's hip-hop scene. All of these bands, minus this one. We don't need to talk about ICP.
Okay, ICP.
But all of these other bands,
Onyx. Tell me
I'm gonna-
specifically about Onyx.
They're great. They learn Rock Smash, Shine
Okay,
Polish.
let's move on to the next one.
Wu-Tang Clan. Once again, nothing to fuck
Nothing to fuck with.
with.
Written out.
Is it
Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay, they are.
Snoop Dogg. Lay.
How long is this between NWA?
NWA? He
Yeah.
wasn't in NWA.
Was Snoop Dogg not in NWA?
No. But he worked with NWA.
I could have sworn that Snoop Dogg was in NWA.
No, but him and Dr. Dre, that's another guy. Dr. Dre.
He's
They
supposed to be
work
on here
together.
too?
Yeah, and he's a doctor. Is a
MD.
doctor. Can't confirm. Can't confirm, but I heard it's true.
Okay.
He treats bad beats by making them great.
Clever.
You're running down the clock.
Shut up, that's my whole strategy. Just
We're
talk.
good.
LL
This
Cool
one. This is one I know the least about.
Hold up. LL Cool J, apparently his mama told him to knock you out. Knock you out.
He also served in the military.
Yeah, he also served in the military. He's part of NCIS Los Angeles Division
NCS
with
Los
Robin.
Angeles. From How I Met Your Mother?
No, Robin from the 1994 Batman movie.
He's
Yeah,
Robin?
yeah.
Okay, two great. Oh, De La Soul. De La
De
Soul.
La Soul, you got to listen to him. They're cool.
And time. turn.
All right. I got.
Take it all in, Scott. Or
My name is not
Zach.
Scott.
I always want to call you
Yes,
Scott.
new thing, new thing.
New
Good
Scott.
job, Connor.
Zach is the new Scott.
I think I've mastered this.
Okay,
I think I just missed
all right.
Scott.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We miss you, Scott.
We miss you, Scott.
He's cool.
Ooh, erase. Don't look,
Oh,
Katie.
don't look. Blind yourself.
It's fine. Blind
They're
yourself.
right there. It's on the floor.
It's underneath.
How do you
Eyes
think
are
that
nice.
went, Khalil?
What's up?
How do you think that went?
How do you think that
Oh,
went?
it was pretty good. I think that it started off really strong. I was like, wow, this guy's got it good. And then, it went in the direction. It was very entertaining. I don't know how accurate certain things are, but I can't confirm that. So it was fun, though. I'm excited to see how you do, Scott.
Scott. Actually, Scott. It's Dylan earlier. Now it's Scott.
Dylan,
No, it's
Scott, Zach.
Zach. I'm turn my
It
back
is
to the camera.
Zach, actually.
It's the one and
It's
only.
Zach. So now Zach is going to have a couple minutes to explain as well. Is
How long
it
do I
also
have?
4 minutes?
I have 3
I
minutes.
thought we had, it's 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
So 3
3
minutes
minutes.
on the clock. All right. And Katie, I think you can look now.
Now you can look.
Are you ready to learn, Katie?
I am so ready to learn.
All right.
Learn me some goodness, Zach/Scott/Dylan.
Scott. Okay. Zach. Okay. And I think if you're ready, let's do this thing.
I'm ready. Okay. What year were you born, Katie?
What?
What year were you born?
1984.
Doesn't matter. 1993.
Okay.
This is the greatest year of hip hop history
I was
ever
in college
because
drinking like
LL
crazy
Cool J
partying when you
joined
guys
the
were
military.
babies.
Okay.
Cool J.
Yeah.
He officially
That's
joined
cool.
the military this year. No, LL Cool J released an album this year along with
They were fun.
ICP came out. Who do you know who ICP is?
Did you make a puddle? Is that what you're telling me?
ICP, no.
Okay.
It's
The
just
same
their
kind of
career is
I know
P.
that one.
Okay, P. They're clowns. They're funny. Also, Dr. Dre was around this time. He made music
He was a
with
doctor.
guess who?
He was a real doctor.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Snoop Dogg,
Snoop Dogg. Okay.
the doggy dog, also known as Lion. This is important. This is the most important.
Snoop Lion. Yeah.
Snoop Lion. I will remember that.
Dog.
Lion dog.
He only kept that for a little bit, though.
Dog.
With
I
lion
think.
I don't know.
When you name yourself Lion, it probably just
and
like,
then
disappears into
Del,
the ether. It's a part of you.
Yeah.
Soul
It's like a
It's like,
cloud.
I don't need to say it anymore.
is
No.
a band that no one
Yeah,
cares
you know.
about or knows apparently.
It's like a lion.
They're probably good. I don't know.
cloud
I've
follows
never heard of
around
them
everywhere.
ever. Also, Onyx the
It's
Pokemon
marijuana.
became very famous in 1993 with his hit album Rock Hard
Album. Hit
and
album.
his P move,
They used to
which
say
is
album back in
Shine
the day.
Rock.
Would you like to come back to my
Yes.
place and listen to some
P
albums?
move. I think there's another band. Oh, TLC also came out this year
Don't go
with their
chasing
hits
waterfalls.
ATQ.
ATQ, TLC, ATQ.
No, it wasn't TLC. The band is ATQ. TLC is also a good. I wouldn't call them hip hop. I think they're just
Yeah?
something else.
Okay.
It's
Hip
unrelated
hop
to
slash
this. Ignore
R&B.
this.
R&B hip hop.
ATQ, De La Soul,
so
Snoop
I
Dogg,
can-
Snoop
Yeah,
Lion,
keep
Dr. Dre,
it all
ICP,
down
LL
low.
Cool J.
Wait, Jason Waterfalls? That was later
I
on.
do.
That was the 96 iteration, I think.
How long do we have? We have a minute to practice this pose. Do you have any questions?
What are waterfalls? I mean,
Each
waterfalls
band.
are nice. If you're chasing a waterfall, obviously you don't want to fall off. But if you
Oh,
hit
he was
Niagara Falls,
also
'cause you'd be
in
fucked up.
NCIS,
But
Yes.
Los Angeles.
I d-
Not what?
like waterfalls are nice. Like,
Los
don't go chasing. I'm trying to like.
Angeles.
What was the metaphor they were warning us?
Oh, with the
not to
Robin
do?
from Batman. He teamed up with Batman to beat the Joker in NCIS.
Yeah,
I feel I'm
Don't
learning
chase
more about
them.
NCIS
No.
than
because they're
hip-hop.
fast.
Not all about the hip hop.
All right, it looks like we have about
Oh, okay.
we got about 30
Oh, you're quiet.
30 seconds
Okay,
left.
30 seconds to go.
30
Questions.
seconds.
I have lots of questions. What, tell me more about Dr. Dre and
He fixes hearts. He's a doctor. I didn't know
He
that.
is
He has an
a doctor.
MD.
He is, that's
This has
confirmed.
been
We found
proven
out.
on this stream today, guys.
Doctor of Funky
Listen.
That
Beats.
Dr. Dre has an MD in beats.
MD and Beats.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the
What are the
vegetable.
vegetable doctors called?
Like the vegetable.
Okay, next. What else do you have a question for?
Um,
Let's go. LL Cool
No,
J,
those are-
ICP,
No.
Onyx, shit.
I could just see him performing
Time.
surgery on a beat. That would be funny.
How did Zach do, Khalil?
He did.
He did.
We're gonna say
He
that.
did.
It's very interesting. Yeah, that Pokemon Smash album just killed everything. People were like, "Yo, that battle record he put out,
Onyx, man. What was it
Pikachu
called?
couldn't come back with that. It
Lockhart.
ended his career.
Yeah, Pikachu.
He just decided to go hide in a ball.
Yes, that's exactly how it happened. It was a sad ending.
Yeah, it was really
We've
bad.
determined TLC is R&B.
Ain't no
Chasing
chasing
waterfalls.
Scrubs.
Scrubs,
want
yeah,
no
that was in a
Scrubs.
much later iteration of them, but they were out around that time. I think Creep was the first. No, it was I Ain't Too
Shout
Proud
out
to
to
Beg.
Lisa Left Eye
I Ain't
Lopez,
Too
by
Proud to Beg.
Awesome.
Yeah, I Ain't Too Proud to Beg was their first
Is
hit.
it? It's their official. I
Yeah,
actually do like TLC a lot.
yeah. Obviously,
We learned something about
Left
Zach.
Eye.
Obviously.
Left Eye is really
I-
super
Left
cute.
Eye
She's
is
beautiful.
She's
Rest
a
in
beautiful
peace.
Woman.
She's
She has,
absolutely
fun
beautiful.
fact, guys. The reason she's named that is because her left eye is slightly smaller than her right eye, and her boyfriend named her that. And then she died in Honduras. But
Yeah, it was horrific. Yeah,
okay.
she, was, she was doing wonderful things too
awesome.
All
at the
right,
time.
Katie, take it all in. Erase it when you're ready.
There's an eraser over
There is
here.
an eraser, right?
I used to be a
It's
teacher.
by the phone over here.
I used to be a teacher, so working with like whiteboards and chalkboards was obviously a thing. And I never once like would try to wipe that shit off with my hand. I would like wait.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, nah. They're like, come on, way to put it up there, Mr. Teacher. I was like, nah, you can't really do that. You're not. No.
And here comes John.
I used to
You
throw
taught-
erasers at my students too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh.
a couple times. They liked it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, they would try to
Better
dodge
than,
and
you
try
know,
to catch
smacking
them.
with a ruler, but
Exactly, it wasn't that.
just throw an eraser at them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it.
You get their attention.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I would just break their phone in today's world.
Yes.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
the phones, man. Too many phones.
Too many phones. I agree.
So Katie's gonna have 2 minutes to explain. 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're gonna learn all about all things hip hop.
I'm ready.
If you're ready, Katie, let's do this thing.
Let's do this thing. Okay, so what year does your favorite wine come from?
My favorite wine?
Hmm.
Gosh.
Changing things up.
Yeah.
1987.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's going to be 1993. That's
Oh,
where
okay.
the beauty of all this starts.
Good.
It's fine wine that year.
87. Yeah.
LL Cool J is
Had some Cabernet Sauvignon.
all things
Oh.
Yes.
It was shanghaied into the army, from what I'm told. And so he needed help from Dr. Dre.
You ever get shanghaied into a party?
And
Yes.
Dr. Dre
Anytime I'm around Dylan or Zach or Bon or Scott.
Or anytime you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This has been an episode. So everybody's hearing
There
our
we go.
commentary.
I was
We're doing like
handed
play by
this
play.
mic
Oh, this is
this
so much
way,
fun. This is like
and-
play by
and
But then I
Very
had to do your mic
interesting
that
No,
way.
that's all right.
Yeah.
She's
but,
great.
Dr.
Cheers.
Dre actually
This is the host
was with
cheers.
a gentleman
Cheers.
called Snoop
Cheers.
Dogg.
Oh, yes, him
Yeah.
as well, yes.
And his code name in this rescue operation was actually Snoop Lion.
Oh,
And
okay.
so Snoop Lion and Dr. Dre rescued LL Cool J, and there is a band called the DeLorean, where
40
that
seconds on the clock.
doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
So with LL Cool J, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and the DeLorean, there was also another group called TLC.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
ain't no scrub. So TLC.
25
Yes.
seconds on the
Oh,
clock.
only 5 seconds. So LL Cool J is awesome. Dr. Dre is awesome. He makes mad beats with the headphones. And Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre rescued him from being
Okay.
shanghaied in the army. That's
Gotcha.
what I learned. Yes.
Very good. Very
Do you have
good.
any questions?
How many questions do I get?
They only have
yeah.
5 seconds, so
Yes.
one.
Yes, one question.
What
Make
does
it guess.
Dr. Dre have a doctor in?
Beats.
Nice. They got that in.
You got him in.
It's like Final
Quick.
Jeopardy.
It was quick.
Yeah. It was
All
like full
right.
contact Jeopardy right there.
Good job.
Yes.
So, Katie, how do you think Katie did, Khalil?
She was full of enthusiasm, which I really appreciated.
Yes.
It was good. I mean, and I love how she takes an interest in LL Cool J, which stands for Ladies Love Cool James, hence her passion when she spoke about him.
I do love
Yeah.
LL Cool J. I follow him on NCIS Los Angeles.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's John's turn.
Now what do I explain?
Now
I
you
explain
it to the expert.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice. Okay.
Yes.
As it was
As it
explained
was
to me.
explained to you.
Okay.
Does he erase the board and start over?
We do not want that tragedy.
Do I leave that up and just go
You
off of
will-
that?
or
Can I go
you
off
will
of that?
Have to redo it yourself
Yes.
Redo it
I give
myself.
you the marker,
by memory.
and I give you the eraser, and I
Okay.
will hold this
All
for
right,
you.
And then
Khalil.
the whole cast comes out and we watch. Oh, I'm going back up. Yeah.
All right.
Do I stand on this side?
And let's see. Well, John is now the expert
Yes.
in this situation, so he
Yes,
will be on the
after
expert
extensive
side.
training,
Yes, you
sure.
need to.
Okay, there we go,
Thank you,
sir.
John.
Make
And now
sure
we
it's
will
not
see
switched off. That's
what everyone
something I
has
ran
learned.
into. There
Yeah.
we go.
Yeah, me too.
In this session of Expert Schmexpert, the first round, all things hip hop.
Okay.
John, you
let me-
have
Hold on, don't start until I get my marker all set.
you
here.
have a minute. Is it a minute? It's a minute. You have 1 minute to explain all things hip hop to Khalil, the expert of all things hip hop.
Say go.
And go.
Khalil, what is the year after 1992?
1993.
Exactly, 1993, my friend. My writing is very sloppy. I'm left-handed. Just want to let you know now.
It's all good.
So in 1993, there was a gentleman by the name of LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
Had a very popular song around that time called "Mama Said Knock You Out." Very popular. Did you know he was actually almost knocked out and sent to the army? That's what I heard.
Wow.
And yeah,
Sent to
which
the
way do
army.
L's go? I think this right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
and
you
then
go.
what happened is there was a guy named Dr. Dre who was his doctor, gave him a physical in the army, and that's
Okay.
how he got out. So
Nice.
after Dr. Dre got him out of the army,
Medical discharge?
yes, medical discharge. What
15
happened
seconds
was
there.
Snoop Dogg, he adopted a dachshund named Snoop Dogg, and he named it that, and he made some rap albums with it. And then there was an Excelsior, which was some sort of car, I believe.
And time.
It's awesome.
All right, I got Exa.
That's cool.
We learned
So-
some stuff about 93.
Oh,
It
sorry.
was a year.
Oh, you're fine. It was a year full of things, DeLoreans,
Stuff happened.
Pokemon,
Pokemon rap battle albums.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was
It was really good. Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
how do you feel that round went, Khalil? In all honesty,
Um,
did they take what you had taught Connor in the beginning? Did they get off track?
Oh, definitely off track. I think they got off axis big time. But I am impressed with the detail, particularly like LL Cool J, Dr. Dre, and Snoop. Like out of all the groups that I mentioned in
Yeah,
the
you had a
beginning,
lot of groups.
you can see the staying power of these dudes. These dudes are like have been at it for a long time and since before some of the comedians were born. So it's like Dr. Dre being a surgeon of beats is really cool. I could just imagine him like actually performing surgery on a beat, which is funny. Snoop Dogg, Snoop Lion, he's the man. He's
Lion.
still there. And LL Cool J is more known. What's funny to me is that he's more known for his acting career than his
Yeah.
music career.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
he's come out with albums
sure.
for a long, long time. But he actually made his introduction to America in a movie called Crush Groove. Came out in 1986, and it was him rapping as himself. And everybody saw him for the first time. It's like, who's this guy? It shows the genius of Russell Simmons. This movie hits on Friday, and by Tuesday you could buy LL Cool J's album, which was on Def Jam during the time of the Beastie Boys' License to Ill, and so that kind of shot hip hop and that
Wow.
label forward in that way. So LL's one of those rapper actors who's made good his entire career, and it's hard to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Been many a host on many a VMA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he holds it
Yeah.
down. I mean, LL's doing his things like fuck making music, man. They're going to keep giving me money to be on TV and solve these crimes within 48 minutes.
He was great in Any Given Sunday. He was great.
Any
in
given Sunday.
Very
And
good.
also he was great in Deep Blue Sea.
that. Oh yes.
I saw that.
Yes.
That was my best heckling moment ever. Watching theaters. I used to live in Los Angeles, and I went down to the Magic Johnson's Theater just off of Crenshaw Boulevard. I took the day off of work and, went out and recreated a little bit before I went to see the movie. So I'm watching the film, and if you've ever seen the film, there's that scene. He gets separated from the group, and he's kind of by himself, and you think a shark is behind him because that last cut is him turning to the camera, then it cuts to something else, and then the group is climbing up a shaft. They're trying to get away from these intelligent sharks, And then you hear a rumble. One of the hatches breaks open and water comes out, and you think it's a shark, but it's LL Cool J who triumphantly pops his head up like, I'm still alive, motherfuckers. So I just said, LL Cool J is hard as hell, which is like the first line from his hit song ever. And the whole theater went crazy, and I just stood up, patted myself on the back, and retired from heckling films.
You were just full
Because you can't beat that.
Khalil. You were just full of stories.
It's crazy, man. Life is good.
Well, we're going to go into a second round.
Okay.
This time, John's going to get to be taught 5 minutes worth
Okay.
of your intelligence.
Okay, cool.
On this topic of all things hip-hop.
Awesome.
But this round, we're going to have some wrenches in the mix.
Okay.
So if you want to come on over here with
Okay,
me,
I'm moving again. Hold on.
we'll discuss.
I'm back.
Now, you don't have to give them to everybody.
Okay.
You can choose as you'd like, but you don't have to do it to John yet. You can take a look, see what we have,
Okay.
think about what you want to teach these guys, and then when you're ready, we'll get you started up here.
Okay.
All right, take a moment, see it, feel it, do it, dream it. Okay. So now you guys are still gonna go back into the.
You don't have questions for him.
I don't have questions.
What kind of questions would they ask me? Like
Like a general, like a pop quiz, basically. For each pop quiz question you get correct, you get the ability to use one wrench.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool. Okay, let's do this.
where are you?
What do you want to ask?
Thanks, Scott. I mean Zach. I mean Scott.
Do you have the improvised
Scott's Zach.
questions ready?
I don't.
Do you want me to ask him improvised questions?
Ask him
All right.
If you have them, do it, Zach.
Okay, ask me improvised questions.
Hello, Khalil. Welcome to the halftime show. My name is
What's
Zach,
happening?
and
What's
your name
happening,
is
Zach?
Khalil.
Yes.
First question. Question number 1. The main antagonist of season 3 of Dragon Ball Z would be what? Vegeta, Nappa, Majin Buu, or Frieza?
I'm gonna say it's either Boo or Frieza, because I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z much, but I was teaching elementary school as the show was getting hot, and I said I got to connect to my little boys somehow. So I got into Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, and I would recreate and watch Dragon Ball Z a lot because I was like, this shit should have come out when I was young. Man, I'm gonna say Frieza.
That is correct.
Yes!
That is one. How many questions are there? Or wrenches are there?
I'm gonna say Boo was later.
Yeah, season
Majin
9.
Buu was later. Yeah,
Season
Majin
9.
Buu was hard to deal with.
A lot later.
Yeah,
5 questions. I'm gonna ask.
he
I'm
was
gonna ask
tough.
4. 3 wrenches. Okay, that means 3 questions. Question number 2. In what year was I born? 1993, 1996, 1997, or 1994?
4.
Shit. I said that out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 wrenches.
That was
All
good.
right. Question number 3. In what year is our friend John's favorite bottle of wine?
1987.
Is that correct?
I don't remember. I recreated before I got here.
All right. Well, that's it. I guess you get 3 wrenches, man. Congratulations. Hopefully you don't use any of them on me.
Guest host Zach for the guest host Jill for the absence of Scott. Who knows how to? And Connor. Where is Connor? We lost him.
Connor
Who's
left?
Connor?
I don't know who he is. But now, okay, so
He's
we have
taking a
3
poop.
wrenches.
Oh, Lord.
Maybe.
We will do the 5 minutes of the second round.
Mhm.
You guys go back into the
Yep.
hallway.
Yep.
Me too?
Thank you, Zach. No, you'll
gonna
stay
explain
'cause
it.
he's gonna teach you some stuff.
Okay. About the same expertise topic, right?
Same expertise, maybe a little further into it.
Okay.
Whatever you feel is your heart's desire.
Okay.
I think we have an advantage here. We're closer in age range
Yes.
here. So
Yes.
I maybe know a little bit about what you're going to,
Yeah.
but not a whole lot. So it's going to be a good refresher course.
Exactly.
This is probably going to be a better round.
We'll see.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
I
onward
believe
and
it.
upward, I
believe it.
say.
I
You're
believe
right.
it. We're going to do great.
You sold me with your persuasive argument.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty enthusiastic, guys.
I can tell.
I haven't been at all.
100 miles.
Okay, so it's 5 minutes on the clock. When you are ready, Khalil, go for it.
Okay. So we're going to talk about like old school hip hop. Old school hip hop. So that was like 1993 where we went in, and there's a thing that they call the golden age. The golden era, or thank you, sir, age of hip hop, which depends on who you're talking to. Some people say it's 1986 to about 1993. Some people say that it's like 1984 to 1992. Really depends on where you're coming from. But there's a lot of interesting stuff that comes out. So during this era, actually in 83, Run DMC hits the plane, and we know them. One of their more popular songs was Walk This Way, which they had to be convinced to do. They didn't want to do that song with Aerosmith at all.
That's what I heard, yes.
And then they got convinced to do the song, and they were like, cool, because that's when a lot of money and marketing, and they really blew up.
Was it Rick Rubin?
Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. Rick Rubin was the producer, made a lot of the music. Russell Simmons made a lot of the business moves that hooked him up. Run DMC also performed on like Live Aid. I don't know if you guys remember that. Live Aid. It was to help famine victims in Africa. Yeah. Same time as they had like the We Are the World song that everybody was on. Some people hated that song. Some people loved it. It was so much we had to sing it in chorus for the Christmas performance. But you had Run DMC coming out during that time. You also have artists like Slick Rick with Children's Story. You know what I'm saying? You have Eric B. and Rakim.
Slick Rick. They used Children's Story. That was the sample they used for. Was that This Is How We Do?
Yes,
right?
Lamont Jordan used that. Yes. So you have Eric B. and Rakim. You've got coming out seminal. Rakim changed MCing and rapping as we know it. You have Public Enemy. PE, who came out with their first album, Yo Bum Rush the Show, really didn't do that well. But and a couple years later, this was 87. So the year later, they come out with Takes a Nation Minutes to Hold Us Back, and they blew it up because their sound was so ahead of the time, people weren't really into them. And they were still getting it tight. If you ever see Yo Bum Rush the Show, I would check that out. You also have Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, fantastic, legendary MC. You know, he was supposed to play at Sister last week, but he canceled the show.
Oh, wow.
I had a feeling he was going to cancel the show. It kind of blew. But you have these groups coming out and flipping stuff because people started sampling a lot of James Brown for their beats, and it was getting very, very funky. Hip-hop was getting very, very funky. But during that time, something happened in like the 1987 era because you had groups like the Jungle Brothers come out with
2 minutes left,
some
guys.
funky, different music. You know, and the Jungle Brothers were part of a group called the Native Tongues. And they had members like De La Soul and A Tribe Called Quest come in, and they were using different samples. So where everybody else was sampling James Brown at the time, De La Soul is sampling like Steely Dan and doing that. Tribe Called Quest is sampling a lot of jazz. So these guys were the ones who kind of lifted hip-hop on an artistic level as far as a lot of the groove and the beats. What made Public Enemy stand out is because it was done by Hank Shock Lee and whatnot, and the Bomb Squad, they were called. And they would find samples and loops and things that were off beat and off kilter that made hip-hop sound so cool. So it was a very interesting sound going from like the old school drum machine bass, because you have Beastie Boys coming out that time with License to Ill, and
got about a minute left.
That a lot of people like Beastie Boys, especially in the suburbs. And Beastie Gets Down, they got credit. They were making music. It was funny because back then you hear about crossover music and whatnot. Like, oh man, this black artist crossed over into the mainstream. Well, back then you used to have reverse crossover. Beastie Boys crossed over, reverse crossed over, but George Michael, former singer of Wham, crossed over with his album Faith. That was interesting. He crossed over a lot of African American folks.
30 seconds.
Really dug that record. But in all, kind of taking it era to this golden age where hip hop was able to emerge. You just had so many different sounds coming out. That's beginning to happen now. You have a lot of people taking a lot of musical risks and chances, and things weren't on the mainstream such as. But you also had Tone Loc come out with a record,
10 seconds.
and Young MC, who were kind of like one-hit wonders, but people still play their songs every Friday at certain bars, probably the Dirty
And
Burger.
time. You went through
Very
a whole,
thorough, yes.
whole golden age of